everyone, welcome to the Inner West Library's Mindfulness and Poetry workshops. But before we begin, we'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, the Gadigal and Wangal people of the Eora Nation, and to pay our deepest respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and to any First Australians watching today. Hope you enjoy it.
I sing joy in symbols sequentially seen, and intended translation is smile like me. I adore you, so fuzzy and warm, sticky green little fire I breathe in the trees and release in the natural dawn of the seasons. Seeds that the queen doesn't need any reasons to sow into rows where her garden of growers. Been harvesting poems for those out of focus. Hop in our trucks on the way to the market and trade inspiration for what's in your pockets. Exchange of energy, words to remember me. Rhyme is a style meant to aid in the memory, so hang momentarily. When was the last time you entered a library? I thought so. The meaning takes path of least friction and floats from my throat to the sounds in your system, the reverberations of air that connected the psychic and spiritual medium message. So blessings, you beauties who kept us all guessing. I know your emotions got my chest compressing. Make love demolition, have sex in the wreckage, rebuild it from scratch and rebrand it as vintage. G'day good people, I'm D.A. Carter. You've just seen a poem of mine. It's called Vintage, and it's a performance piece that I wrote a while ago. Whether or not you're coming to these workshops as a seasoned veteran of writing and performing poetry, or whether it's your first time getting to grips with some ideas related to writing and performing poems, welcome, and I hope you enjoy this part 2 of my Mind Your Writing workshop. This part is about mindful writing technique. Now, if you haven't seen part 1, you might want to check it out as I introduce mindfulness and simple breathing exercise. Now, I'm assuming you have all the required equipment, simply a space, a comfortable, private, quiet place to be, a pillow or a chair to sit upon, pen and paper, and a stable surface on which to write, clipboard, desk, or a hardcover book like I've got. I'm just going to jump right into this exercise, which I call 11 breaths to a sketch. So firstly, take a piece of paper. Lined is slightly easier, but it can be blank like I've got. Now what you want to do is inscribe 1 to 11 down the side of the page in the margin. I like to use Roman numerals because I'm super old school. Now we're going to write 11 words or phrases during 11 breaths. So we're going to breathe slowly, take our time, and the instruction's pretty simple. We're going to close our eyes, breathe in, then exhale. When you breathe in again, open your eyes and write a word. And then, once you finish writing the word, close your eyes, exhale, and then when you inhale again, open your eyes and write another word. So we're going to repeat opening our eyes, closing our eyes, writing a word when we have our eyes open, closing our eyes for the exhale. So now we're going to do this together. So here we go. Close your eyes and exhale. Open and write a word. Open. So that was 11 breaths for me. I don't know if you were breathing at the same pace I was, but basically that's the exercise. Now, what did I write? Now we are doing something strange together, hilariously silly, out of breath. I wish I could say that I'd come up with that beforehand and was ready to go with it, but that's just what came out right now. So you might be asking yourselves, what did you write? And it might be easier if you actually pause the video. I probably should have said that before we started this silly breathing thing, but you've just seen me do it live, so hopefully you have some idea of what to do. Now, once you've done this process, there's a second part to it, which is asking yourself, you can read back what you wrote and asking yourself, how'd you go? What'd you write? Why'd you write it? And you might find that you wrote something fully formed that kind of is a complete idea. You might be really proud of it, or you might think that it's just silly garbage. Either way, you're doing the process, which is reflection. That's part 2 of this exercise. So reflect on what you've written about, what you have produced, and what might have influenced you, what your state of mind is, what are your circumstances, what are your surroundings, and how have they influenced what you've written. And so obviously what I've just written now is kind of silly, and I felt a little bit under pressure, which is why I wrote this thing about doing something strange together, hilariously silly. I'm going to share with you another 11 Breaths poem which I wrote 2 days before I was filming this workshop, and specifically I was a little bit nervous about what I was going to write, and I wrote, "Nerves, but little comes born of fear. Apex of grace, becoming nothing beautifully." So this is a very simple exercise. All you need is a piece of paper, a pen, and the time it takes to breathe deeply 11 times and write about it and write things down and then think about what you've done. So you can try this exercise anywhere. I've done it on buses, I've done it on planes, and I encourage you to notice when you reflect about what you're writing, how it's influenced by where you are and how you feel, your circumstances and environment and your state of mind each time. So at the end of the day, it's simply an exercise. It's not meant to produce incredible work each time, but it will definitely get you started and help dissolve, all what's going on in your mind and help put you more into the mind frame of creativity, and maybe you write something that you're really proud of, and I hope you do. So I hope you find this mindfulness writing exercise useful, and that you'll join me in the next section where I talk about performing poems with attention on the breath.